What's happening, guys? This is James Blonde from MMOHut.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending April 29th, 2013. And our first piece of news is pretty exciting, as Tencent Games' recent investment in Epic Games seems to have led to quite an interesting partnership with the gaming industry's veterans at Capcom to create Monster Hunter Online. The video featured in the background is actual gameplay using the CryEngine 3, which, as you may know, is still in the earliest development stages for use in MMOs. In addition to the visuals surpassing even Monster Hunter Ultimate 3, the latest addition to the series, the devs promise new monsters and the return of popular monsters from past titles, packing plenty of new tricks to surprise veterans of the series and pushing the innovation to its limits. The cool part is, you would expect a game like this to have a fairly distant testing period, but we've heard that Capcom and Tencent are confident that we should see alpha testing in June. Next up, NCSoft launched the latest content update for Lineage 2, which is currently celebrating its 9th anniversary. That's pretty impressive for any MMORPG to actually reach 9 years old with ongoing success. Anyway, the latest update, Goddess of Destruction, puts players up against the third dragon to be released in the game in a huge raid, plus features 8 new character classes, new zones, a rise to the level cap, and revamped game systems along with changes to the character progression. Last week on the 24th, Warner Bros. Unveiled Helm's Deep, the next expansion to The Lord of the Rings Online. Helm's Deep will continue the story into the western plains of Rohan, allowing players to take the direct role of the battle for Helm's Deep and advance the level cap to 95. Starting at level 10, players will be able to enlist as a soldier and defend Helm's Deep, as well as take part in plenty of other zones new to the game. The 5th expansion to the game is set to launch sometime in the fall later this year. Next up, Webzen launched the first raid for the Extreme Dungeon in Continent of the Ninth Seal, featuring some of the most difficult enemies in the game so far. The week before last, we talked about the new dungeon as a teaser, but now we've got a little bit more of the details. The new dungeon, located on the 5th continent, Sarad, pits players against 3 new raid bosses at once, along with Bardil, the god of fire. Only players above level 62 can access the dungeon to face Bardil, along with Mullik, Krios, and the Rebecca twins. That last one really doesn't sound that bad. But it's a multi-layer raid of extreme difficulty. The Extreme Dungeon, however, is something that the developers plan to expand, as the final boss for this dungeon will be launched sometime in May. Also on the 24th, Wargaming announced the release of Update 8.5 for World of Tanks, an update that further expands the tank rosters for both Germany and the USSR, as well as introduces new premium feature options for non-paying players. So players will now be able to purchase all premium consumables with credits, whereas previously these consumables could only be purchased with gold. On top of these changes and several others, Wargaming introduces a new battle arena, Pearl River, to the game, as well as the usual visual revamps of more of the classic maps. Area Games last week unveils more details on Soldier Front 2, unveiling the game's full website and giving potential players insight into the large variety of options the game plans to have. Now, the only thing that really stands out to me is the idea that you'll be able to follow a special force unit according to your playstyle, and that seems actually pretty interesting. And they claim to have MOBA as one of the game modes, where 2 teams up to 5 attempt to destroy a target in the enemy's base with the assistance of some sort of minions, and that could be pretty fun. Another shooter gets an update as Ghost Recon Online launches a patch containing a host of new content, features, and game service improvements. The update introduces Attica Heights as a new map designed for the holdout game mode that takes place in the business district of Singapore. Now players can test out weapons before they purchase them in the new trial system, and the update also showcases the Omega Pack that lets players optimize their own equipment loadouts with new headgear and upgraded weapons featuring new camouflage. Plus, Project TOPOS allows the community to play prototype maps with their clanmates to provide feedback and help improve the design of the maps. Next up, Rock Hippo Productions launched a new update for Microvolts called Spring Loaded, and as you can see from the release trailer, the new update provides players with the new Junkyard map and all new water-themed weapons like umbrella melees, blaze shotguns, and the Tylock grenades. But to counter that, players can equip the new waterproof parts to protect their Microvolts. Not a huge update, but an update nonetheless. Anyway, guys, that's about it for MMO news and updates. As far as games to look out for, War Portal has announced May 1st as their official launch date for Ragnarok Online 2, so definitely look forward to that. And everyone should know by now that Neverwinter is going to open beta, available to everyone Tuesday, April 30th. That's tomorrow. So I definitely suggest downloading the client and giving the game a shot. Not really sure yet when the game will officially launch, but with as much content that is already available, it should keep players busy for a good while, especially when we start seeing player-created dungeons from the Foundry. Anyway, guys, that's about it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending April 29th, 2013. If you're looking for more information about the news and the weekly recap, head over to MMOHut.com/news, and feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHut.com/forums. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.